It's game number 1 in a brand new best of 3. You're watching DreamHack Masters North America, and we continue on with the group. This is the fill-in B stream. I'm Rifkin. You're watching Base Trade TV, and spawning in the top right, both two halves of the same team, we have the red Terran player, the one, the only, the past. Oh wait, what's that? Excuse me, the present. What? Seriously? Oh, he is future. And his opponent to the bottom left, the blue Terran player, Vindicta. This is actually a really great matchup. These guys have squared off before, and exactly like I was hoping, this is going to be chaos. Vindicta is doing this in such a very specific way in this position because he's not doing a regular proxy. He's going to be lifting these up to Future's main. The big advantage this gains, of course, is you don't have to worry about A, high ground vision problems, and B, a wall off blocking your units out of the base. For Future, he's likely to scout that there's nothing at home and then immediately think, oh, it's probably Reapers. Because let's be honest, that is the common go-to in a TvT proxy scenario. But this is a unique, very different build, and Vindicta, the cheese is strong with North America, guys. I can't wait to see if this works or not. It's going to be really difficult to pull this off with perfect execution, but eliminating the high ground disadvantage is a big deal. So you can see the first barracks lifting off over the main. Oh my god, he's going Marauders with this! SCV gets over, scouts the first barracks. He can body block the second one. Immediately giving up, Vindicta withdraws. A bunker's placed out at the ramp too. Future didn't know quite what was going on. Vindicta's plans have been thrown awry, and unfortunately, I think backing out of this may have already signaled defeat. This was a great reaction out of Future though, because this is such a rare occurrence. I have cast many TvTs, and I have only seen one other time where players have pulled this off. So I gotta say, first off, cool beans, Vindicta. I love the effort. I love the hustle. But turning it into a 2-racks for the follow-up means these Reapers come down at a pretty delayed timing. This won't actually hit for something super potent. And there is a bunker over here if necessary. So the areas in which these Reapers can hop up are kind of limited to begin with. The factory finishes soon, and I don't think Future's going to rush out a Cyclone. Even just a Hellion could help out a ton. There's no reason to really go back home. Factory's coming back here for Vindicta. I guess he's not continuing. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot more. So this is being set up in such a way where Vindicta is actually not committing to a heavy proxy. But he's going to have units on the field with these Reapers, maybe catches a Hellion, maybe catches some of his opponent's Reapers. But the point is, he's actually not going all in with this. This was a clever way to salvage the situation. I was dead certain he was going to try and continue attacking because, you know, not for naught, it's over if you don't. But when we analyze things, it is worth noting Vindicta is objectively in a weird spot due to this. His worker count's a little lower right now, but that doesn't matter so much with one base saturation. That'll matter more when the natural base is up and running. However, over here on the right side, you'll note there is no natural base for Future at all. And this is a big scout out of the barracks to confirm this. He sees the starport already done. He likely knows there's a drop coming his way. There's nothing else he can really do here but adapt. So, with no command center down here, very happy to build this Cyclone. If this Cyclone gets a lock on, oh, he's gonna try and body block. This is so cheeky. He was trying to physically block the command center so that this would have to be off center for Future. That's a very annoying, very nuisance-y thing to do. But another real threat that this barracks presents is if at any point, for example, Vindicta catches Future trying to swap add-ons, he could actually land the building and steal the spot he wants to land in. That's not going to be a problem here for now, but it might be if he doesn't get rid of this barracks. Back at home, in terms of defense, the Cyclone is big. The Cyclone is a really big defender unit in the early game, and one Cyclone can do a lot. The problem is, this is a lot of units too. So while the Cyclone can take on any one of these units 1v1, grabs the medevac, great start. It doesn't have the firepower to just sit there and shoot the Marines, for example. This best case scenario for Vindicta right now is likely just lift this up and bring it over to the main or something. I don't think it's going to be defensible over here. The Viking spawns, heads over to the right side, not the right location because he needs it over here on the left to catch that medevac. And the Cyclone does waste a lock on, but I mean, this is getting awkward for Future way more than it's getting awkward for Vindicta. The command center was never lifted. The mule just drops bold-faced right in front of Future because there's no fear in this situation. What blows me away is this Viking did not go hunt down this medevac, but instead went across the field, and he's probably going to land this in the mineral lines. And let's not forget Vikings get some serious bonus damage versus mechanical, or at least that's what he was hoping if there was no defense at home. This barracks just served a very important purpose, though. It revealed that there was a Cyclone and a Raven and several Marines. So right now, Vindicta, if he pulls this off, he'll probably grab 2 or 3 SCVs. I think it's like 3 shots still. Oh, Reaper's over here for a distraction are great, though. Runs right in. Hey, look at me, look at me. Viking lands over here. 20 damage a shot. The reverse Screwlander maneuver. We know it well. Picks off 2. Oh, 3. Looking for 4. Getting a little greedy. Picks up to fly away. Should be able to hide in the corner. No, the Marines take it down. I don't think that was a waste for Vindicta. Killing 4 SCVs is a pretty big deal. But they're so close in worker count right now, and I feel like if I open the income graph, Vindicta's actually been ahead a little bit. Excuse me, a fair bit while this has been going on. So all things considered, this was a great salvage operation out of Vindicta. I'm looking at the game now on a lot more of an even footing than I was before. But we are heading down 2 different paths at this rate, and I'm not sure if it's going to be mech for both or not. Because it's Vikings being produced pretty quickly out of Future just to get some units on the field. Land those boys on the ground with these Ravens. This is huge, and Future's army is just way stronger. But oh my god, Cyclones, for example, lock onto the Ravens like this, grab them before the fight begins. This could have been a very different battle. Big lock-ons there for Vindicta. Meanwhile, back on the other side of the map, this medevac never went away. Still presents a problem. SCVs are pulled away while a 3rd CC tries to complete in the main base. Should be able to hold this with the Cyclones. Probably wishes he grabbed that the lock-on onto the medevac. Might be able to catch it over here. Not for nothing, there's a cloaked Banshee on the other side of the field, and I'm having trouble keeping up with everything that's going on right now, truth be told. Goes in, ends up being a pretty wasteful Banshee, but still nabs a few kills. Middle of the map, this Banshee is going to be really good. Not good for... Oh, no. Walks face first into the tanks and loses 2 Cyclones right away. And that's just through dumb luck, if we're being honest. Banshee doesn't have a lot of staying power. Still is a big threat nonetheless. The Cyclones sit within the tall grass waiting for Future to get a little too close and get some lock-ons. I believe he has Megfield Accelerator, so it's mechy play out of Vindicta, but we do have Stim finishing up for Future, so the type of games these present are a little bit different. You're going to see different unit types and compositions than your regular TvT, and Marauders, for example, are suddenly useful if there's Blue Flame Hellions on the field. But that's not the problem right now, because for Vindicta, his lack of anti-air is going to be making this very difficult for him. The Cyclones are powerful when used correctly, but the idea is Future's not going to let him use it correctly by doing things like this. Interference Matrix blocking them out now. Locking them down essentially for another like 5 or 10 seconds. And Awkward is as Awkward does. They're trying to go forward, getting these lock-ons. Tank sets up in a really good fight spot defensively, but auto turrets could be a big threat for it. This positioning is going to be a nuisance for sure. Tech labs are going to be shelled away at. Buildings are going to be hit. And right now, he's repairing his Cyclone so he can get the best fight possible. While this went on, I guess this Banshee grabbed about 7 kills on the other side of the map. That's pretty good. Cyclones get some interesting lock-ons. Not lifting the factory. It's a little bit late now, so that's just going to go down. Some SCVs are pulled. Is he really going to be this desperate to break this? He is. He's gonna go all in to break this. I don't know how to feel about this. Ravens get targeted with a lock-on. 1 Raven goes down. 2 Raven. No, second one escapes. Banshee in the back looking okay. SCVs pulled seem unnecessary, but they are gonna lock down the defense. Vindicta loses 19 workers to this, but it's only down 10 at the end of the day. I can't say this looks great for Vindicta after that fight. He has almost no units on the field, period. In fact, all of his army supply is in production. There are 9 Vikings on the field for Future. All he has to do is land these in the base and it's game over, because their bonus damage versus Cyclones make them better than Cyclones. Well, unless they sit here like this and need a lock on. But yeah, this is Future's game for sure. Well, I should rephrase that. This is Future's game to lose. So I like to say, never underestimate the ability to throw a 1 game of StarCraft 2. Yeah, lock-on deals a ton of damage, but between the cooldowns, these Vikings are getting some work in too. I mean, look how fast they chip away at these buildings because they're labeled mechanical. 20 damage a shot, fast as like Stim Marines. Lifts up the building, guess what? Vikings shoot up. Yep, feels bad. Another factory goes down. I will say this though, I wasn't joking about that 1 game type thing. Future's giving away a lot. Maybe reaching a little too quickly to kill Vindicta. Regardless, he does have a 3rd base back at home, and his production's looking pretty good. A couple extra add-ons coming into play. So while he might not end the game right here in this moment, Future is, by all measures that I can account for, Still very ahead in this game. Oh, Letho. Sorry, I have my alerts off because I didn't want them to be obnoxious for this, but I just want to give a quick thank you for gifting out 5 subs. That was really nice of you, dude. Thank you, dude. You guys got a sub from Letho. Make sure you say thank you because that's ad-free viewing for a month. Yeah, the problem with the mech, though, is... Well, actually, I love the Banshee. Does he have speed? He's got speed Banshees. I just realized. The problem with mech, though, is all of the units he wants to build right now are going to take a lot of damage from those siege tanks. So this Banshee, you know, even if she were to die for this, oh my gosh, she's going to remove the tanks. This is actually super sick play to Vindicta. One more shot. Boom. Now it's just one siege tank. Breaks this no problem. Lock on to the Vikings. Scan ahead. Double kill. No! Gets out of there barely alive with 15 HP. But I mean, might as well be dead. Normally, the way this tends to pace out is the mech player has control. It's usually the mech player who invests in Vikings a lot earlier, right? And then we see them control the sky. The bio player doesn't get their medevacs. It's a frustrating game. That's not happening in this game. And Vindicta, while he does have some degree of anti-air through these cyclones, as you've witnessed through many of these fights so far, they are still very fragile. Very glass cannon. Big damage output, can't take much damage back type thing. This is a wicked game, though. I wouldn't say it's normalized. You know, it's easy to look at Vindicta seeing 66 workers and thinking, wow, dude, 3 bases, he's killing it. But Future had his down much earlier. The income has been greater longer for Future. These Banshees are super frustrating. Innovation was making these a pretty big thing for a while, but then they kind of fell out again. So we haven't seen Speed Banshee play in some time. Special's another player who will use them from time to time occasionally, but they're definitely not the go-to. But the way they're being utilized by Vindicta in this game is very impressive. Yeah, here's where this gets problematic for the Cyclones. Marauders are in play. They don't have concussive shells, so they can't slow the Cyclones, but they've got the damage. And, you know, lock-ons here are going to be big. Lock-on, kite away. Try to kite away. Grabs and drags some units. Siege tanks set up now, too. Marauders going to push in. SCVs are pulled for the defense. This is Vindicta's very last stand. Future looking to break him here and now. GG. Future takes game 1 in the series. Okay, spawning here to the bottom left. The Red Terran player down 1 of the series. It's Vindicta. And his opponent who spawns across to the top right, the Blue Terran, Future. The map is Eternal Empire, and as Slowly Falling has noted, this is sadly and regrettably a team kill. Alpha X, though, is a pretty big roster, so it's likely you're going to see things like this happen, but yes. Alpha X versus Alpha X feels bad too because it's 2 Terrans. One got to take the other out. Why you got to do it like that, Blizzard? But regardless, I think without taking too much away from Vindicta, Future is probably measured as the better player in my books. I really like Vindicta, and I definitely feel he's a very strong player, but Future being up 1-0 is not too surprising. But I do also want to note that if Vindicta had played a more straightforward game, maybe that wouldn't be the case. He got caught trying to do something cheeky, right? And that changes everything. It throws you off your SCV count, your timings. You're 10 seconds late. It has ripple effects, and it really hurts you in the long run. But I really think Vindicta did a good job salvaging the situation. Not many Terran players can in that sort of very unique kind of fallback. Sorry, I've only ever seen one other player try and drop barracks in someone's main like that. It's always great to see new builds. Well, Vindicta does a quick poke around with the SCV. I think he wants to make sure that there's no proxies coming out of Future. Future's SCV, on the other hand, just goes straight to the base, and seeing the barracks on the high ground lets him know this is probably a little bit more comfortable of a game. You won't have to worry about something really ridiculous. That's kind of the gamble, I guess, the coin flip with scouting. Because if you go right across the map like Future does, you can confirm a barracks or not. But if you are getting proxied and this SCV happens upon the SCV trying to build the barracks, you can shut it down. So that's the gamble. Unfortunately for Vindicta, as a consequence, he has no scouting of Future whatsoever, but he should be able to make up for that with a Reaper. At least that's the idea. I love reading messages like this, by the way, from GDSRVT. First off, loving the casting. Well, I hate to tell you, buddy, there's no casting going on here. This is all StarCraft 2 field reporting. Thank you very much. But more importantly, he says, my mate dragged me into StarCraft 2. I didn't get into StarCraft 2, but I love watching it now. I love StarCraft 2 as well, man. I'm glad you do too. It's a good game to watch. As the Reaper heads back across the field, it's an awkward chase. Yeah, the criminal is in view of the, I don't know what you call following officers. Look, they're about to arrest him. Oh, they didn't arrest him. Oh no! Quick, get off the news. It's too brutal. It's too brutal. This family's watching this. Oops, sorry, black screen. This little interesting follow-up to this though is the starport that came down. I didn't really bring this up because I was goofing around with the camera, of course, but with the starport in play, this is going to send a Liberator right to Vindicta's main. And if Vindicta goes for Hellions or basically anything other than a Cyclone, he's not going to be able to handle this for some time. Because even 1 or 2 Marines, they don't really shoot down a Liberator all that fast. So for future, this is definitely paying back a bit of cheese. For Vindicta, I'm not sure if he'll be prepared for this. It's so unfortunate too. When you look at the minimap, right? The way the Reaper chased around, he scouted everywhere except for where he needed to look. Oh, his future heads out with these Hellions. This is going to be a great combo attack. The Hellions can kill the Marines pretty easily. The Cyclone even is going to be in a bit of trouble because the Cyclone's going to have to pick and choose. Help deal with the Hellions at the front or chase down the Liberator in the main. The obvious answer is kill the Liberator, but if you do that, then the Hellions are going to roam free, and frankly, a lot of things are going to die here if Vindicta doesn't handle this exactly perfectly. Pulls these SCVs back towards the main base, but it lines them up. Oh my god, 6 kills, 8 kills right off the bat before the battle even begins. The SCVs gather over to the left side or the right side. It doesn't matter what side they're on. This is a massacre. The SCV count is no longer existent. Oh my god, 20 workers die in a blitz attack on a future. Oh no, he's not even done. Oh, he's going for 3 more. He wants 3 more. He wants 1 more. He's greedy. No, 22 kills. Vindicta left with 14 workers off of this. And this wasn't even mostly the Liberator. The Liberator got 3 kills, but what the Liberator did was it helped herd the SCVs together, pull them off the mineral, and I can't even believe that just did so much damage. I think that if this wasn't the last game in the series, if this was the first game in the series, we would see just straight up a tap out right now, but we're going to see Liberators deny more mining off of what little mining there is. This Liberator's not going to find an easy way to get in, but still, the damage has been done. I hesitate to bring up the income graph, but we must. He sees the natural base. Vindicta scouts this. He's got to know. GG. Future, ladies and gentlemen, takes the series 2-0.